Okie dokie, and we are back. Amani, I've got a question. So now in this time, which Kenyan females are in the industry?
At that point in time, Masi
Myra.
Masi Myra was there, and I loved Masi Myra. And there was Into, that's Natasha Gatabaki and Atemi.
Just quartets. Quartets. Because that's what they recorded. They're from Tejusaya.
Tejusaya. And there was Sheila Mwanyiga
Also
as
Ted.
Nikki at Ted's. So I'm thinking, yeah, me na juna recording in my dem. I think I can't just open the door a bit.
You penya.
Ni penya niingie. But Ted was busy. So I was trying to get recorded with a gospel song. I had a gospel song written.
What is the gospel song? Or will we get to that?
I'll get to that.
Okay, sawa.
So, yeah. And I'm like, wow, this is just taking time and everything. And I remember once, by then I used to listen a lot to the radio just to get a feel of what the industry is all about. And I used to listen to this show that Big Kev used to do called Afrofusion. That used to come every Sunday. I never used to miss it. And I'd heard
on Capital.
Yes, on Capital FM. And I'd heard a different sound. You know, I'd heard Baby Cool, Red Sun, and I'm like, whoa, I like that. Who's doing that? So every Sunday, I kept listening just to hear the name of the producer. So the first day I didn't get it. The second day I didn't get it. So the third day, I just recorded the whole show. And when that thing, Ogopa Deejays, I'm like, that's them. So when I went again, trips to Ted Josiah's studio, it was normal. Twice a week, you just hope that perhaps this week he's a week, this guy. Meanwhile, nobody knew. I'm in USIU, I'm quiet, I'm not talking about what's going on. Of course, I'm in school. By then, I'd already been given warnings, by my folks, this music thing, But, by then I'd become seasoned in juggling both of them. USIU was a fantastic place. Like, you could choose when to have your classes. And I was like, and this is why you placed me. I'm like, my parents do not know. I managed my time perfectly. I used to wake up early in the morning, have all my classes done by 11:30, if not 12:30. Afternoon classes were Roma. But my parents knew I used to finish class at 5:30.
Yeah.
Afternoon was free for maybe seeing boyfriends and, it's when maybe to go see a boyfriend or hang out with my friends.
Or do this music thing.
Do music things. I had my afternoon was free. So then I went, I kept going to Ted's studio hoping. But then, it was big and everything. But I could hear that other sound that I loved so much. Baby Cool was recording then with Ogopa. Red Sun was recording with Ogopa. And I'm like, there's that other sound. And I wrote it down. And luckily, one of those days when I was leaving Ted Josiah Studios, I saw Red Sun and I ran after him. And I was like, the guy you record with, what's his name? Lucas. No. Ogopa. He's like, yeah, Lucas is Ogopa. I'm like, can I have his number? He's like, yeah, sure. And he wrote it down for me and gave it to me.
Guy. First of all, there's a thing that you said that guys may not even understand. You recorded on a tape the whole show just so that you could find out where is this production. This is not days of at the internet
Googling. That thing for tape you.
Yeah.
I'm like, Ogopa Deejays. So there's a way they used to do it. Ogopa Deejays. I'm like, what are they saying? So I couldn't get it. So one day I just said, just record the whole show and wait for that part. And I finally got, I was like, it's Ogopa Deejays. So when I told Red Sun, the guys you're producing with.
Red Sun had come to Ted's.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's what's that. And you
I
this
knew
one of
Red
your
Sun.
days of huko kwa mawe.
So me, I read after Red Sun. I told him, please, those other guys you're producing with. He's like, Lucas. Then I'm like, no, Ogopa Deejays. And he's like, yes, Ogopa is Lucas. And I'm like, okay, sawa, so you give me the number. And he wrote down the number for me.
Okay, so we can MCT here. That is crazy.
So I took the number and I put it in my purse and I secured it. And I was like, that's the guy I'll call. And so that I don't lose that number, I've always had a journal. Every year I always have a journal. So I took the number and I wrote it in the journal. And I was like, when I'm ready, I'll go see him. Yeah.
There's nothing like, continue with this story.
After a few times, No, I think there's a time we got to meet.
So you didn't call him immediately?
No.
Hey, okay.
We got to meet with Ted, but even then he was busy, and I was like, wow, this has been long. But then, my grit was like, I was now becoming a bit restless, so to speak, yeah. So I remembered anyway, but I have an option. So I was like, let me try these other guys, because it's clear that this guy is busy. And I still did not call him.
What?
Because I don't know why, I didn't call him. So I remembered I saw an ad for a Safaricom competition. I think it was Safaricom talent show. And I said, maybe I should call him. Because I noticed the guys used to go see Ted. Walikuwa najulikana. So I told myself, so I'll go pitia this same thing when I go see this producer. Because people don't know who I am. Nijui.
Yeah.
So I was like, maybe I should enter this talent competition. And if I win it, if I go to this producer, he'll listen to me. So I entered the competition.
Star Search.
Safaricom Star Search.
Yes.
And I entered the competition and I did the production with a producer who was also producing us as Sobriety. We did a few things with him. His name is Richard Kasika. And yeah.
The real arcade. Yeah.
And he had a studio close to State House, like with the PCA. Yeah. So I went and he did a track for me. Same thing, gospel. And I competed at Safaricom Star Search. And I was first runners-up.
You have stories for days.
Yes.
So, first of all, I've interviewed quite a lot of people who competed in Star Search. So I'm shocked that you were first runners-up.
Yeah.
So for you to get to first runners-up, it's not that you just went there one day and it happened. There was the Nairobi.
Then I don't think they had just started.
They just started. It was the first one ever.
I think it was first or second, yeah.
Okay, so you just went one day. It was a one-day event.
It happened at Carnival, yes.
Okay, you went and performed?
I went and performed. The winners were announced that night.
Who won?
There was a group, 2 guys. Hey, akina Shilton walikuwa wamebaka hao guys. Sijui kama mliva hiyo kitu. I'm not sure. I could tell they're gonna win because walikuwa wamejua kina Big Ted and everything. They were dressed. I was like, hey, if we win here, I thought maybe I'll be number 2 because I nilikuwa mpatia number 1. Walikuwa wanaonekana kama,
yes,
they're okay. So number 2, I was beat by another girl. And this girl, I don't remember her name, but she could sing and play the piano. And I was like, oh, she's playing the piano. And me, I was just singing and dancing. So I was like, wow, that's competition. But, she was number 2 and I was number 3.
But that's huge because you're solo. You're not in Sobriety.
Yes, I was a solo artist then.
And you're the same person who was saying you're introverted. So now you're being forced to perform solo.
Yes. So and
you still entered with your gospel song.
I was still gospel, by the way. I was a gospel act then. Number 1 and 2 did secular songs. I was number 3 and my song was gospel.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Okay, so what are you rewarded? Is there money, cash prize? Is there anything?
Cash prize was for number 1 and 2, so
You know how we do.
Tulienda home. Funny enough, my parents came. Then I think by then they had cooled down and realized that this girl is going to follow this thing regardless of what we tell her, so let's manage her.
Your grit for this thing is what's blowing me. Your go-getter spirit. And I don't even think it's hard for a woman. I just think it's hard for an
artist
at this time, at this particular time.
Yeah. So I didn't get to win, and my parents came and they were like, okay, you did well and everything. My friends were my dancers, so just pulling resources from everywhere. And do you
have that song that you performed with?
That song that I performed with. Now let me get to it.
Okay.
So after that, I told myself, well, I was first runners-up. I think maybe I can call Ogopa. I'm not just the artist kwa kukaa kwa mawe. So and I still took time. Then one day it just hit me. I think I was in Westlands, and I even remember where I made the phone call in Westlands, and I decided to call. And I called, and I was surprised when he picked up because Ted never used to pick up calls. understandably, you know, he was busy with a lot of artists. And I introduced myself. And before I went to see him, through my entire ride from Thika in the night before, I was like, okay, fine, I'm actually going to pursue this. I think that point in time is when I was like, I'm going to try and do this and see where it goes. So I decided what my name would be. And I picked the name Amani.
Why?
I was a gospel artist, and I thought it was simple, and it reverted to
for those who may not understand Swahili, what does Amani mean?
Amani means peace. And like I said before, those days of sobriety, the one thing that used to make me it was a place, for me, music was a place of peace, a place of just relaxation and expressing myself. So I went to the money.
As you're driving now to...
Driving? Pana ni matatu?
No.
Wajua ma3?
Sorry.
So...
Uko kwa ma3 on your way to...
Westlands to do shughuli kadhaa.
Okay.
Then I said, after I'm done with that, I'll call.
Okay.
So I called, and he's like, what's your name? I'm like, my name is Amani. I'm interested in recording with you. And I had cash. I was ready. I asked him, how much do you charge?
Where did you get cash?
This was me in campus. I used to get an allowance, you know. In campus, most people get allowances from their parents.
Yep.
But I used to skip lunch.
So that you can save money to have
go and record, yeah.
Guy, this is the side they don't show. No, you really wanted this music thing. I
wanted the music thing. So even as much as we used to go to the cafeteria and eat, the most I used to do was fries and sausage. And the cafeteria at USIU was lavish. I mean, it had cappuccino and Black Forest at the cafe side. On this other side, it had a really nice menu. They used to have fish. They used to have ribs. They used to have everything that was nice to eat. But I was a chips and sausage girl, so I could keep the rest of the cash. Yeah, and use it for music.
Okay, so you call Lucas. He asks you what your name is. You tell him, I'm Amani and I'd like to record with you.
I'd like to record with you. And I was like, when can I book an appointment? And I think when I said appointment, he giggled. He's thinking, huyu ni nani? Lakini nimetoka huko kwa TED, man. Najua appointment ni muhimu. Wewe ukifika kwa gate anakuambia, do you have appointment? You know. So nilikuwa najua hiyo kitu appointment is muhimu. And I was like, can I book an appointment? He's like, hey, appointment. Okay, sawa, come on this day. And I went to the studio.
So he tells you where the studio is.
He told me where the studio was.
Was it many days after that he told you to come?
No, it was like almost like a day after, if I'm not wrong. So I was surprised at how quick I got an appointment. Because, you know, nimetoka kwa West.
Lucas now is like Ted. He's elusive, disappearing.
So I go over to Ogopa Studios, and then he had not built the other studio. It was the recording was being done in the house. So I went, I presented the song. I told him this is my song. The person who I was looking up to then in terms of gospel music was Henry Mutuku. She had just come out with like a house-ish sort of song, and I expressed myself. I said, I'm looking for something in that direction.
I think, or something like that.
So I'd written something similar to that, and you know, I told Ogopa, this is the song I've written, and this is the direction I'm thinking. Yeah.
How was it? I mean, he's not the Ogopa that he is now. He's not the legend. He's not the...
Yes.
I don't even know words to express. Lucas.
He was just Lucas.
Yeah, he was just Lucas.
He was just Lucas.
And at that time, he had a few big songs, but nowhere near Ted.
Nowhere near Ted's, but you know, you could hear, you know, he had Akina Red Sun, Baby Cool, a lot of Baby Cool. He was doing a lot of Baby Cool's production, Chameleon. So, yeah.
When you entered there, were there any other musicians?
No.
It was just him.
It was just him.
So his studio at this time, sorry man, anytime I meet somebody who can tell me about Lucas, I milk it. I will milk it. I'll piece all the pieces together before I get him.
Yeah.
So his studio is in his house.
The studio is actually at their house.
And when you say studio, what do you mean?
When I say studio, I mean literally computer, microphone, and I think it was a bedroom actually. There was a bed there. Yeah.
Okay. It's a bedroom studio. So,
you could say that.
But hey, it's about the output. At
the but the songs that were coming out of there were really good.
So at this time it's just the two of you, And you meet Lucas, and it's only Lucas who's there.
Yes. And then even I didn't get to, the first day, I never even got to know like where we are recording because, you know, I met him. It was at the house and we met at the dining table and I expressed to him what I wanted and everything. And he asked me, what sound are you looking for? I explained it. The best reference I could give them was Henry Mutuku. He went and listened and said, okay, fine. I'll get back to you. What's your number and everything? So he took my number and he said, I'll tell you, you know, when we can record.
Okay.
Yeah. So I got another appointment for another day and that's when now I sang. And I sang whatever I had written. And he was like, okay, sounds good. I think we can do 1, 2, 3. Yeah.
And then what happens now?
And after that is the time I started realizing that he was actually, he actually had artists that were coming to the studio at that time. Yeah. There were other people who were coming. I think Akina Googs had started coming to the studio.
You're day ones.
You know, Akina Googs started coming to the studio. The studio had started having people trickling in and everything. Yeah.
Okay, so he gives you an appointment to come and record.
Yes.
You go.
And I go.
This is a short time period after all of this is happening. It's happening quite fast. This, if I'm
Yes.
Okay.
And I record the first song.
How is it working with Lucas? Do you just record? Does he direct you? Is he telling you about vocal arrangement?
And everything. The recording was a bit different in the sense that the other recordings of the other studios I'd been to, there was a lot of, I'd say it was very chill out, relax. You know, at Ted's studio, I think he even had like a sofa and everything. It was relaxed, very relaxed, you know, and everything. Lucas was structured. Your song, record it. I take it, I'll call you. If he's your friend, you'll chit-chat kidogo. Yes, but the day you're recording, Lucas has minimal chit-chat. Yes.
So, but is he guiding you or he trusts you?
No, he's guiding you.
Okay, so for example, now you're doing, he's like, that's off. Do the tick again.
Yes.
So musically, he understands what's happening.
He understands and be like, no, change this, put this here. Maybe you should do this. Put this, no, maybe try this and everything. Yeah.
Nice. So, does he tell you things like, because your song is sung, so is he giving you ad-libs? Is he telling you ad-libs here? Is he telling you about harmonies? Or that one is you who's doing?
No, that one is you who has to do that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so you record, you drop vocals, and this are you doing this in his house at this time?
At that point in time, that was the recording place.
Okay.
So the first song was recorded there. And he takes the vocals. That's Lucas's style. And he's like, I'll call you. So you wait. So, I was there in class and I'm thinking, when am I getting to hear this song? We're in class, but my song is on vibrate and I'm looking at it like every other minute, like, when is this phone call coming through? So I remember he called and...
how long after?
Can't remember the period, to be honest. Yeah. So
short or long?
It was short.
Okay, short. Okay.
Yeah, and I remember I was at the cafeteria and I saw him like, producers called. I left everything. Sure. I mean, of course, I didn't want to talk. My friends did not know what I was up to.
No way, you had a double life.
I had a double life. The only person who knew what I was up to was my then boyfriend.
Okay.
Yeah. So, we've tomokad, I've gone, and he's like, yeah, this sounds really good, but there's some things I need you to change. When can you come?
Now.
Tomorrow, even today. By then, when I went then, because this period of time was kidogo, he had now moved to the main studio.
Okay, when you say the main studio, where is this now?
Now, the main studio was, I think they were this was now the 7th quarter.
Okay.
And now they had started using that space.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Wow. Amani, you're so day one that you recorded in his bedroom for the first time.
Yes.
So, when you're going now to do add vocals?
Was in the 7th quarter.
Okay.
So I went and I did stuff in the 7th quarters. I changed a few things and he said, this is good. This sounds good. And I think for me at that point in time, as a solo artist, I had no confidence. Even by the time I was recording, I had no confidence as an artist. I came from a group. I was used to hiding in a group. I'd participated in a competition and I was number 3 and I didn't think much of myself. So by the time to hear those words that I think this is good, this is very good, was like, wow.
Affirmation.
Affirmation, like, I could probably do this. So now the hard task came to, where is this going to get played? Who's going to play this?
So hold on. What does he ask you to add and change? Or is that going to kill the story?
No. I changed a few things. Basically, in terms of arrangement of the song, there are things that had to be switched and everything. And it was actually my first song called Tahidi.
Ooh.
Yeah.
That's an amazing song. But
So we switched a few things. There's like a little chant I normally do. And it was like, why don't you put that there? Why don't you include that there? And before then, Lucas was very, I'd say as a producer, he was very distant. Like, come record, do this. He's just, he's very structured. But then now he started talking. So I was like, oh, okay, so dude can speak, okay. So he started saying, so what exactly are you going for? How do you see? And by then I had never thought of myself as an artist or where I was going and what I wanted to do. My mission when I was recording, even when I was going to TED, mimi nilikuwa nataka tu ni record wimbo ichezwe tu kwa station. Hivyo tu, mimi sikuwa na vision ati I didn't have those things. And he said, there's a project I'm working on, I think I'll put you there, but I'm not sure. I'm not promising anything. And I think that was Ogopa. That was Ogopa 1. Yeah.
Okay. Tahidi was an amazing song. So first and foremost, before we get to talk, the instrumentation, when you came the second time to add the additions on the vocals, did you hear the instrumentation? Because I'm sure that's not how it was the first time. What? You're not hearing the instrumentation?
Lucas would never let you listen to what he's going to do finally until it's finished.
What?
Yeah.
So you're recording like literally on a metronome or just
metronome
like a track?
Or just a basic track.
What?
You listen to the final product when the song is finally finished.
Lucas, Queen's an artist.
Hey!
Hey, okay.
But you see, for me, that was the only way I knew. I came from being in a group and I had not really been in a studio properly. So for me, it was very easy to adapt.
I get it.
And I got used to that structure that today I struggle not being within structure.
I hear what you're saying.
Yeah.
Okay. So, at this, this is insane. Like you're such music history. I wish guys understand urban Kenyan music history. This interview is amazing for that reason.
Thank you.
The song, explain to me your writing process, because I've heard that song. I'm like, yo, this was extremely creative how you wrote it. Tell us about you writing the song.
The song was already written before I even went to TED. I had written a lot of songs. Being at Sobriety, I had already started writing. I'd written songs for Sobriety already. So I decided, what song will I write for myself? And I just used to write song. I'm like, that's not good enough, I trash it. Or that's not good enough, I trash it. So that particular one, I was like, oh, this sounds okay. This is more of me. And I worked on it. So I'd worked on the song for a while. Yeah.
I believe in all. Like you'd already seen the whole. I like that dance.
Yes.
Because you had written it too, as you said.
Yes, that's the other thing. I was into dance, I was into house. I used to listen to house, I used to listen to dance. By this time, yes, I had my Save D side, but I'd really moved away from that Save D side. Like really moved away. Like I was my way out.
Your Michael Jackson moonwalk, help, I'm backsliding.
Like slowly getting out. So there was that, but I didn't know how to write love songs. I just couldn't. I knew how to write songs to praise God, to worship God, to talk about God. I'd tried writing love songs and it was almost impossible.
Ogopa Deejays. I believe in all of me, in all of him. I believe through him I can be anything I wanna be. In all of me, in all of him. I believe through him I can be.
Yo.
Yeah.
Okay, the big one. The song gets out. When's the first time you hear the final?
He asked me, do you know people like who work for radio? I was like, no. I knew no one. Like, I knew the only people I knew were Big Ted, Big Kev, and from Shilton. And then, we had Amaja. The interaction was not really that close. I'd seen them in church, but I wasn't like a person who was like in the industry like that. So I was like, do you know any radio presenter? I'm like, hey. None. Do you know anybody? TV, KBC, KTN? Huh?
Ata Joy Bringa sijui.
Ata Joy Bringa sikuwa najua. I knew nobody. And he told me there's a friend of mine who has a program. That was Motoni Buika. And I'll see if she'll play this. And he told me, I'm not promising anything, but let's see where it goes.
You paid him for this first song?
No.
What? So that savings ulienda ukarudi kula lunch.
However, Lucas ni Lucas.
Okay.
There's another song I paid for after that. So I think because this song was going into the Ogopa One project, it would have been funny if I paid for it. Do you understand?
I get it.
In terms of owning rights and everything. He was ahead of us. He understood. If I pay for the song, and it's on Ogopa One, the implications that in terms of copyright. So I guess the draw for me was, I'm going to be on Ogopa One. But then the downside is I didn't pay for it. So copyright issues there. Yeah, not issues, but
yes, I get what you mean. Yeah. So what happens now? So is that have you had the full song at this time?
Yeah, by then I've had the full song.
How did you feel when you had the full song? Hey, that's a big one. That's your first.
That's my first song, and I'm
minus
like,
the Richard Kasika. This one's like the first song.
You need to look at song yangu wa kwanza. Like, hey, this sounds good, sounds nice. So how am I going to do it on stage? Am I going to perform? So I'm now beginning to think.
Did you like your song now?
I liked my song a lot. And he's like, let's see, whether she'll play it and everything. And then she played it. And I didn't record it. I almost screamed. I was busy dancing, jumping up and down. My friends do not know what I get up to. Nobody in class I am with even knows that I could even sing or even be on stage. They
don't know Amani exists.
They do not know Amani exists. I am that girl who walks. I used to walk with my head down. And the only thing that you could tell about me as an artist is I always had dark nails and, interesting hair color, blue, Yeah.
So how did it feel hearing it?
It felt so wow, And I think Modoni had like an afternoon show or something like that. Or even before that, I think that then she had one at Metro. I don't know. Yeah.
But she was a big deal.
She was a big deal. So I was like, what? It's like right now, Tuva playing your song. Hey, we made it. So, so she played the song and he said, I think I'll include it in the project. I didn't know what that was, like the impact of that. I didn't understand, like, you were just about to become part of something that is really good. So I was like, what's this project about? And it's like, I'm compiling a CD. I want it to be like Kenyan classics and everything. And I'm like, classics? I'm like, my song is not a classic, like this. Maybe you should hear this other song and maybe this other song. And I was like,
hold on, he knew that far ahead that he was like a Kenyan classic.
I didn't understand the implication.
Okay.
For me, I was just happy. I've saved money and I'm going into this project. So yes, I was just happy about that. And
you're on radio.
And I'm on radio. And even then, I think the song was played once or twice. It wasn't like heavy.
Yeah.
Then I started now getting to see the other artists that he was working on, like Googs and Vinny. Of course, there's Red Sun, there's Chameleon. And I started listening. Chameleon songs were blowing. Red Sun songs were blowing. Baby Cool song were blowing. And I'm like, I think I'm at the right place. And
so you started going back to the studio often?
I started going back to the studio often. He started asking me, so what else do you have? And all that. And I got now to meet Francis. And
who is Francis? Explain.
Francis and Lucas are like, that is Ogopa Deejays. Lucas is the producer. Francis is a strategist, visionary. Yeah. They have very interesting personality. If I talk about I'll be killed, but hey. So
say it.